many fund managers focused on short-term performance?
The reason is because they're worried about their jobs, which seems crazy at a certain level. But here's the reality of the investment world as I see it, as somebody who faced similar pressures myself in my career of working for large companies. The old saying, if you're only as good as your last quarter or year, is true. And because people sell product based on performance, as well as some other things such as structure and discipline and other services around it, the old fund manager can be defined and can be appraised on that simple one measure, and consequently that's what they focus on. Now, I think this has led to some very bizarre structures and decisions by fund management groups as well as fund managers per se, and certainly what I observe is the conservatism inherent within the fund management industry with this notion of if we can just be average then nobody can criticise us is very prevalent. I think that's crazy. And certainly that was one of the reasons I stepped away from working for larger companies, because my strong view is a fund manager with passion and insight can outperform. And if actually the mindset is you just want to be average, then that doesn't interest me. I'll hand over to other people, the professional politicians or professional paycheck picker-uppers who want to do that, who want to do an average job. I want to do an outperforming job. And you find the right structure to allow you to do that in today's world. But that's why I think, and I think we're moving towards a world where people, hence for career risk, if they're fearful of stepping out of that company paycheck in the bank each month world, if they don't like the sound of that, they're going to tack to the average because you can't be wrong with the average, and that's the trouble.
And finally, what's going on in the hedge fund industry today then? Do you think there's just too much capital out there?
There's certainly a lot of capital out there, but I think in this perfect information world and a world where you've got it also influenced and inhibited by the fact that central banks have been very aggressive with their actions of quantitative easing and the like, you've had this funny backdrop where active managers have struggled to outperform. So as a consequence, hedge fund managers who are typically amongst the most active have found, unless they've adopted the right mindset to work with these markets, they've struggled. And if you look at in aggregate hedge fund returns, they've been disappointing. So I think really it's a structure of market backdrop and market setup. My personal view would be when I look over the next 5 years, because we're building in, I think, to a world where active managers will again be able to make a difference, my strong view is that hedge fund managers with the right backdrop and the right way of looking at the markets and the right passion and everything else will, just like the average investor, be able to outperform.
Do you have an opinion about employing leverage to enhance returns?
So my view is this, on leverage, the stock market is naturally leveraged. You have a lot of natural operating leverage within companies or any other financial instrument, and you've seen the negatives of that at various times of market strife in 2008-9 or in periods before. So my view would strongly be this. There's a lot of natural leverage in investments. You don't need to be adding additional leverage to it because it comes back down to what is your return expectation. And if you're looking to generate a good return, which I would define as, let's say, 10% a year, which would be a phenomenal return versus underlying, let's say, bank deposits or bond yields or stuff like that. If that's what you're looking to do, then you'll be taking some natural risks within buying shares, which possibly may in aggregate offer you that. And to add leverage on top of that, that's not a good idea. So I would steer clear of leverage and focus on the companies which have enough natural leverage within them already.